Imagine waking up in your late 70s, early 80s, or even 90s, looking in the mirror and realizing you still have the skin, energy, and posture of someone decades younger, while your friends keep asking, "What's your secret?" I've spent months digging into the lives of seniors across the globe who not only look 20, 30 years younger than their actual age, but also move, think, and live with a vibrancy that defies everything we've been told about aging. And here's what's truly shocking. Their routines aren't packed with expensive creams, miracle supplements, or extreme diets. In fact, some of these morning habits are so simple, so unconventional, and in some cases so against official health advice that it's no wonder most people never hear about them. But today, you're going to know every single detail. Let's start with one of the most mind-blowing stories I found. Margaret from Maine. At 83 years old, she walks her dog every morning without a cane, without a limp, and with a brightness in her eyes that would make you think she's in her late 40s. Her first secret habit. She wakes up and immediately exposes herself to natural light. No, not just opening the blinds. She actually steps outside, barefoot, onto the grass for exactly 5 minutes. She says it wakes up her cells. Scientists call this grounding or earthing, and while some dismiss it as pseudoscience, there's growing evidence it reduces inflammation, balances hormones, and improves sleep, all of which directly affect how youthful you look and feel. Then there's Ricardo from Argentina, 91 years old, with the jawline of a man in his 50s. His morning ritual? A glass of warm lemon water with a pinch of cayenne pepper. No sugar, no honey, followed by 5 minutes of deep breathing before breakfast. He swears it's the secret to keeping the rust off his body. Researchers have linked this kind of morning hydration and oxygenation to better skin elasticity, sharper focus, and improved circulation, key markers of youthful health. But not all of these seniors start their day the same way, and this is where the real gold is, because the overlap between their routines reveals the true anti-aging blueprint. In Japan, I met Yuko, 76, who has no wrinkles around her eyes, not because of genetics, but because she practices face yoga every morning while her tea brews. This involves exaggerated smiling, stretching the cheeks, raising eyebrows, and even gently tapping the face to stimulate blood flow. Dermatologists might scoff, but multiple studies now suggest these micro-exercises can keep facial muscles toned, slowing sagging and deep lines. And here's the thing. They all avoid one common morning trap that ages most people faster than they realize. Rushing. Not one of them wakes up and instantly grabs their phone or jumps into stress. Instead, they begin with what I call a slow rise. This doesn't mean sleeping in. It means controlling the pace of the first 20-30 minutes after waking, so the nervous system stays in a calm, restorative state. This slow start seems to set the tone for their entire day, lowering stress hormones like cortisol that break down collagen and accelerate aging. Diet plays a role too, but not in the way you think. None of these seniors are doing extreme fasting or avoiding entire food groups. They eat breakfast, but it's carefully chosen. I noticed a pattern. High protein, moderate fat, minimal sugar. For Margaret, it's an omelet with spinach and mushrooms. For Ricardo, it's plain yogurt with walnuts and blueberries. For Yuko, it's miso soup with tofu. They're not counting calories. They're feeding their cells the nutrients they need to repair and regenerate before the day's wear and tear begins. Another detail? Movement within 30 minutes of waking. This is not an intense workout. Most of them do 5 to 10 minutes of gentle mobility exercises. Margaret does Tai Chi in her backyard. Ricardo takes a slow walk around his garden. Yuko practices a traditional Japanese stretching routine called Radio Taiso. All of these movements keep their joints lubricated, improve balance, and stimulate circulation, crucial for looking and feeling young. But here's something almost no one talks about: the role of microsocial contact in the morning. I noticed that each of these youthful seniors has some form of interaction right after waking, whether it's greeting a spouse, chatting with a neighbor, or even talking to a pet. This subtle dose of social connection seems to instantly lift mood and energy, setting off a chain reaction of positivity that keeps stress low and resilience high. And maybe the most rebellious part of their routine is what they avoid. None of them bombard themselves with breaking news or negativity first thing in the morning. No TV blaring, no doom scrolling. If they consume information at all, it's something uplifting, music, a book, a few handwritten affirmations. They protect their mental space like it's as important as their diet or exercise. Over and over, I heard the same philosophy in different words. How you start your morning determines how your body ages. If the first hour is calm, nourishing, and energizing, the body spends the rest of the day repairing and maintaining itself instead of breaking down. And that's the secret. Aging is not just about avoiding damage. It's about creating conditions for regeneration. The funny thing? When I asked if they had ever shared their exact routines online, most laughed and said, "No one would believe me." Maybe they're right, because the real anti-aging secrets aren't locked in some pharmaceutical lab. They're right there in the simplest, most human habits we've been trained to overlook. What if tomorrow, instead of hitting the snooze button, grabbing your phone, and rushing into stress, you took that first hour to hydrate, breathe, move, connect, and nourish yourself? 10, 20, 30 years from now, you might look back and realize it was that decision, the choice to start your mornings like these ageless seniors, that made you one of those rare people who seem to stop time. And here's the thing most people don't realize. These youthful seniors didn't just wake up one day looking decades younger. Their transformation is the result of years of small but consistent habits that start the moment their eyes open in the morning. And one of the most powerful secrets is something so counterintuitive that it makes most doctors raise their eyebrows. They drink warm water with a pinch of unrefined salt and fresh lemon juice before they even get out of bed. And they swear this single ritual has kept their skin supple, their joints pain-free, and their energy levels sky-high, because the combination hydrates on a cellular level, replenishes electrolytes, and stimulates the liver to flush out overnight toxins, setting the stage for better digestion and sharper mental clarity throughout the day. But hydration is just the opening act, because the next thing they do is a short burst of morning movement. Nothing extreme, but precise, targeted stretches that activate. Ritual, not a chore, because they understand that the microbiome, the trillions of bacteria in your gut, directly impacts skin health, cognitive sharpness, and even how quickly your body ages. Another shared habit is that they engage in mental priming right after breakfast, which could be as simple as writing down 3 things they're grateful for, doing a quick crossword, or reading a few pages of an inspiring book. Small acts that keep their brains firing on all cylinders and protect against age-related memory decline. And here's the part that almost no one talks about. These seniors fiercely protect their morning mindset, refusing to watch negative news or scroll through stressful social media before 10 a.m., because they know that cortisol spikes from morning stress can wreck your skin, slow your metabolism, and cause inflammation that accelerates aging. Instead, they fill that time with light activity like watering plants, short walks, or connecting with loved ones, which keeps their emotional state stable and their bodies active. Now, you might assume all of them have expensive routines, but the reality is much simpler. Many of their habits cost nothing and rely purely on consistency, like making sure they sleep in a completely dark, cool room so their morning energy is high, or performing facial massage while applying moisturizer to boost circulation and stimulate collagen. And while genetics plays a role, many of them are living proof that lifestyle choices can override even a family history of early aging, because one woman in her 80s who looks 55 admitted she smoked in her youth, yet by adopting her current morning ritual in her late 40s, she reversed visible signs of aging within a decade. The lesson here is powerful. Aging isn't just about the number of candles on your cake. It's about the quality and intention of your first waking hours. And the people who treat their mornings as sacred seem to unlock a version of aging that defies the rules, which leaves us with the big question. What would happen if you started tomorrow with just one of these habits? Would you notice a difference in your energy, your mood, your skin in a month? Most of these youthful seniors would tell you to test it for 30 days and see, because the only regret they share is not starting sooner. The spine, loosen the hips, and send fresh oxygen-rich blood to the brain. And it's almost eerie how many of these youthful seniors credit a 5-minute balance sequence with preventing falls and keeping them as agile as they were in their 40s. After that comes a morning sunlight ritual, and not just any sunlight. Direct, unfiltered light to the face and eyes, without sunglasses, for 5 to 10 minutes, which not only resets their circadian rhythms for deeper, more restorative sleep at night, but also boosts natural serotonin production for mood stability and mental focus. And you might think, okay, but what about diet? Well, here's the twist. Most of these youthful seniors skip the traditional heavy breakfast and instead opt for a nutrient-dense, antioxidant-packed longevity drink that can include blended berries, leafy greens, a spoonful of flax or chia seeds, and something fermented like kefir or kombucha. And what's fascinating is how they've turned this into a morning